Failure motivated me to be who I am today. I found God, and never was I average again. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're seeing my beautiful face for the first time, my name is Ade and I film about faith, motherhood and lifestyle here in England, United Kingdom. Now, I'm going to be telling you a very deep story, a part of me that I'm just always very grateful to God for. Honestly, I felt led to share the story with you because never in 1,000 years would I have thought that I'm going to be doing a video about this story. Now, this is a story of how I had an experience and an encounter with God when I was 16 years. Back when I was in secondary school, I wasn't a really top A student. Okay, so I was just mostly an average student when I was in secondary school. Now, fast forward to 2006 when I wrote my WAEC exam. So WAEC is West African Examination Council, and so that's more like your GCSE. Okay, so I wrote that exam in 2006 when I was in my finals, that when I was in my senior secondary school 3, and so I think I wrote that exam in June, I believe. I think, and the result came out in September. I think, I'm not very sure right now. Okay, so anyway, the result came out I think around September, and that's usually when you're expected to go to the university, where you're expected to start, your freshman year. That's your university year, your first year in the university. Anyway, so when my result came out, it was horrible. Okay, I only had 4 credits, and all of my other scores were very woeful. Like, it was nothing to write home about. So I remember clearly that I had credits in mathematics, English language, physics, and biology. So you needed 5 credits to get and to be able to get an admission into the university. So I needed math, English, physics, chemistry and biology, but I didn't have chemistry. So I had credits in all of the other 4, and I had a pass in chemistry. So this only meant one thing: I had to do it all over again. I had failed. Like, I had failed myself, I had failed my parents, I'd failed everyone that looked up to me. That point was the lowest point of my life. Like, growing up, it was that period was anyway, let's go. Anyway, so I had failed, and my parents were very supportive. They didn't beat me or shout at me or anything. They just expected more, and they expected better of me. But anyway, I had failed. So yes, so what needed to be done? So my dad had gone to another high school, had inquired about them taking on a student to come and join their final year students, so that I could then write another WAEC exam with them. So so one day my dad came home and he told me, okay, he had gotten a place for me in another secondary school to start all over. So it was as if I was repeating my final year all over again. Anyway, so I got into this school. I felt terrible. Okay, I felt terrible. My friends, if it's either one thing or the other. So it's either some of my friends had already passed and started their university, their freshman year, or they had just passed and just writing their JAM. So JAM is joint admission. I can't remember. Okay, it's been a long time. Anyway, so JAM is another examination you write if you want an admission into a federal university or a state university. So if you're going into a private university, you don't necessarily need to write JAM. Okay, or you don't necessarily need to meet a cutoff to be able to get admission into that school. All you need to do is just to write that university exam. See, this video might be long, but trust me, it's it's going to be worth every minute of your time, trust me. Anyway, let me just go ahead. So my dad had already gotten, so he got this admission for me. So I started this university, sorry, not university. So I started all over again. Okay. So, and this is the thing, yeah. The new school is about 10 minutes drive from my old school. So that's the school I had graduated from. And this is another thing that happens. So when you write your finals, when you write your WAEC exam, which is more like your GCSE, like I told you. So you write that around May, June, and then you write your NECO. NECO is another WAEC exam, but it's not compulsory really for you to write it. So you write that anyway, just in case anything happens. Maybe you don't meet some credits in your WAEC, you can use your NECO results to gain admission into the university. So anyway, so you write that, and then you do, so your high school organizes a graduation ceremony for you even before you get your results. Okay, so I'd gone for my graduation ceremony, I had passed out. Okay, I had left that school and ended up failing anyway. So like I said, my new school was about 10 minutes drive from the school I had graduated from. Now my siblings, my younger sister, my younger brother, they were still attending that secondary school, and my dad had to drop everyone off school. So this is what happens. My dad takes everyone, drives to my old school where I graduated from with myself, my sister, and my brother. So bear in mind that I'm going to be wearing the school uniform of that other school. So you can imagine, that period was hard for me. Even as a 16-year-old, it was so hard for me. Anyway, so I would go in my uniform. My dad would drive me to that school, drop my sisters, and you won't believe, I would even see some of my junior mates when I was in that school. How do I say it? My juniors, and the ones that I classed before me that are now in their finals. I'll see them peeping into the what's it called, into the car to see, is that not Adeoye? Is that not Ade? And then I'll try to bow my head a bit so that no one will see me. I had to bow my head in shame. It was horrible. Anyway, so my dad would drop my siblings off, drive up from the school, and then proceed to my new school and drop me off school. And and that's what happened. Sometimes I think I would offer to just come home by myself so that my dad would not just have to come and pick me and then take me to that school in the afternoon, and then they will have to see me again, and then I'll have to bow my head in shame. Anyway, so sometimes I will offer to just go home by myself. And so this is when I started to experience and have an encounter with God. So when all of this happened, I just told myself, Dioye, you are not a failure. You cannot afford to fail again. You are going to put your best in this upcoming exam, and you are going to excel. You are going to come out in flying colors. See, when you experience failure, it is not enough for you to weep or cry and say, oh, I have failed, oh, I will never rise up again. It takes you. So there's a saying that says that we rise up by falling, blah blah blah. See, if you do not have that determination to rise up, you will continue to fall and you continue to fail. So I told myself, I said those things to I remember I had a diary then. It was a blue and black diary. So I used to write a lot of things in that diary. I used to write my thoughts, everything in that diary. Okay, so I wrote in that diary. So what I did was I wrote my results. So I did a cross line. So I did a line this way, one horizontal line, one vertical line, and on this part of the column I wrote grass. And on the other side, I wrote grace. Okay, so now I had written all of the subjects I took in my first WAEC exam and all the poor grades I had, and I'd projected the grades that I wanted to see in my new WAEC results or WAEC exam results, and that was the grace side of the quadrant. Okay, now so life went on. I went on to write my my second WAEC exam. Of course, like I told you, you write the exam around May, June, and then something happened. I think something happened. There was this there was like a, so we're supposed to write the NECO like about a month or two after that WAEC exam, but something happened and they said they were going to put the NECO on hold for now and call the students back to school to come and write their exams. Okay, so now so during that period of waiting, my mom went to this school. I'm sure I've mentioned it in one of my videos, Babcock University. That was where I did my university, where I had my university education. So she went to the school, she got the form for me. Of course, my dad was aware. She got back home and showed my dad the form that she had gotten this form for me. I filled it in with my dad. I went ahead to write the exam, and guess what? I passed. However, don't forget that my WAEC result was not yet available. So however, the university was happy for us because they knew what was going on and they knew that it wasn't September yet. So I entered university 18th of August 2008. Okay, so what happened next? Okay, so the university allowed us to come in. So that said, they allowed us to start our university degree, and but with an awaiting result. So you entered with an awaiting result that, okay, when my result comes out, I will show you, and then I become a full student. So they allowed that to happen. Okay, so I started in August, like I said, with an awaiting result. So I was still praying and hoping that, you know, that result will come out and it's going to be good, and you know, I'll have all my credits and all that. So during that period, you know, I told God that, like I told you, I told God that, God, this is what I want. I studied hard, I prayed hard. Like, God was so faithful to me during that period. That period was the lowest point, like I told you. So God was so faithful to me. Like, I just knew that, you know, I am going through this process, or I'm going through this pain for a reason and for a purpose. Okay, so again, I think that when that happened, it made me to have a very, very strong faith in God, a faith that cannot be shaken. Like, I had crazy faith in God. Okay, so one day I was in the university and my mom called me up to say, oh, okay, the hold has been lifted. That do I want to come back home to write my NECO exams, just in case maybe I don't make my credits again in my second WAEC exam. And I told my mom, I am not coming home. I have prayed to God and I have told God that, and I've put in my best, that I am going to make it in this new result, that I am going to excel. She was like, she knows that, but am I sure that I said, Mommy, I am not coming home. I am going to pass. I am going to excel. And she said, okay, you know what? Don't worry. Everything is going to be fine. And, you know, we just ended it there. Few weeks later, the result came out, and guess what? You know, I told you that I did a line, I did one portion for grass, I did one portion for grace, and I put in a projected scores. Every of that grade I put in the other side of grace. I superseded. So if I put like a B1, I would have no, if I put like maybe a B2, I would have a B1. If I put like a B3 in a course, I would have a B2. You know, I had higher grades, even more than I had expected. Now, you know, that faith aspect that I just told you about, like I just told my mom, I'm not coming home. I believe that I'm going to pass, and I believe that I am going to do well. So that's when, you know, when I go through things right now in my life, and there's an opportunity for me to like prepare a plan B, to say, oh, just in case this thing I'm trusting God for, in case it doesn't work out, I will do this, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do this, I'll do that. If you know me very well, you will know that I'm not gonna have a plan B, because I know who God is to me. I know the encounter I had with him. I see, when I made those declarations, when I made those statements, it was as if I was sitting in front of him and speaking to him that, God, this is what I want, and I am going to do my part, and I'm believing you to do your part. And that was when I had an encounter with him. Remember, I told you that I was an average student. See, when I gain admission into the university. I said this in my video. I'm going to put it up if you've not seen my previous video of how I almost failed in uni. I'm going to put it in the iCard so you can watch that interesting story time video. Okay, so I told God again that God, I've started my university degree. I'm going to face my studies. I'm going to do my best, and I do not want to repeat any course for any. I don't want to disappoint my parents again, not for any reason. And trust me, I never repeated a course, a module. I never, like throughout my university degree, my lowest grade was a C, and I think that happened like 1 or 2 or 3 times out of the 4 years I spent during my university during my university days. So this is the way God works. Like, trust him with all of your heart. Don't say that because you failed, oh God, God hates you, or God is not doing this. God is good, and his mercies would always endure forever. It is not left for you to pick up yourself and just look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, look, I am going to excel, I am going to be great, I am going to matter, my voice is going to be heard. Okay, so it takes grace of God. It takes courage from you also to to be able to say those things and watch God bring it into actualization. Okay guys, so this is the end of this story time. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed how I had an encounter, how God brought me from grass to grace. This is the reason why I carry his matter on my head, because he's also mindful of me. Okay, anyway, I will see you guys in my next video. Love you and take care of yourselves. Bye.